All right, Justin,
Thank
take
you,
it
Amy
away.
June. I don't know what the live chat. I haven't seen that live transcription thing before, but that's pretty cool. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started here. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining and thanks for your interest in this session. I know this is historically a Drupal camp, renamed to Web Camp, to, I guess, accommodate sessions like this. So I'm going to share my screen now. I just have a short slide deck just for introduction purposes. I'll go through some of this stuff quick and then get to the meat and potatoes, hopefully sooner than later. But yeah, the session I have here today is called React plus WordPress, Gutenberg Block Development Basics. My agenda will be just going to lay out some presentation goals here, tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to probably try to explain Gutenberg, but I don't know, judging from who I see in here, I don't know that it requires too much explanation. So I try not to spend too much time on that one. And then I'm going to get into a demo of a custom block that I've put together for this. And then at the end, hopefully I'll have time to talk about what's next for this. So today I plan to introduce you to WordPress's Gutenberg block editor and demonstrate the development of a basic custom block. Along the way, I'll detail some bits and pieces of the code. I'm not going to give a detailed content editing, page layout, and creation demonstration. I mean, I'll be demonstrating how the block that I'm developing works. So you'll get that part of it, but I'm not going to like create a full page and do all kinds of, editorial type stuff. I'm not going to plan to dive too deep into React, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. I'm assuming if you're here, you have some familiarity with that. And frankly, as you all know, there's just not enough time to cover all of that stuff. It's deep. But I'll have code examples, of course. And I'm also won't necessarily be an end-to-end tutorial in terms of a step 1, step 2, step 3, and profit sort of situation. But, I do have a repo of the stuff that I'll share, and I do have the demo set up in steps, so it will be a logical path through the conversation. A little bit about me. My name is Justin Wren. I'm a senior UI UX developer on the university communications team here at Stanford. I've been here about a year and a month exactly. I started April of last year. I work remote from Keene, New Hampshire. Previous to coming here to Stanford, I was at a Drupal development agency. I worked as a UX and UI designer for part of the time, as well as a front-end developer for the other half of the time. Previous to that, I worked for a custom publisher and I managed their Drupal sites. And previous to that, I worked at Georgia Tech back in the day when they were adopting Drupal as their central content management system. So all that said, I'm not a WordPress evangelist. I'm in many ways a WordPress noob. In the year that I've been here, I've learned a lot thanks to JV and Dave, who have really shepherded me into what WordPress is all about and how it's being done. And this particular side of it, the Gutenberg block stuff, has been really exciting for me. So that's as much as I know about WordPress. So why am I said Drupal all these times, why am I talking about WordPress? Because all of the sites we run in university communications are WordPress sites. We don't run any Drupal sites. So I've had to get up to speed on this and a lot of other things. And now this is the zone. So what is Gutenberg? Gutenberg is also known as the block editor. It was introduced initially as a plugin for WordPress that is, again, a React-based editorial experience for content editors. At this point in time, I think we're at 5.9 dot something. Gutenberg comes with core WordPress. So actually, in order to use Classic Editor or to not use Gutenberg, you have to install the classic editor plugin to dismantle Gutenberg. So you may have noticed on my screenshot here, WordPress, unlike Drupal, has a commercial marketplace for themes and plugins and everything like that. So on the plugins pages, they have this rating like Amazon. And if I was going to buy Gutenberg from Amazon, I don't know that I would with a 2-star rating. I'd usually try to pick things that are more in the 4 to 4.5 to 5 range. So I came to this when I started looking at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, can't be good. But what I found is I look in at a lot of the comments, and this is just my perception of reading through some of the comments, is that WordPress has been around for a long time. I think it's probably, as far as I know, it's probably the most used CMS, I think, in the world, maybe, in terms of installations. And a lot of people are really like ingrained in the way it has been. From a lot of the surface comments, it seems to be a lot of people who haven't really come around to the sort of Jamstack development environment with a lot of JavaScript, React, and all that stuff. So to sort of suddenly switch from what you were used to in a PHP-based environment over completely to JavaScript, I think has thrown a lot of people through a loop, and it's not doing very well for the ratings. So, but from my perspective, I've come to WordPress with a fresh set of eyes. At the agency, I was working on Drupal sites, but I was also working on a lot of decoupled sites. So I did get some experience with React, and I can understand that part of the code. So it's been maybe an easier transition for me than some others. And I think that's probably enough about Gutenberg and me to start to dive into some code here. So I'm going to get my presentation screen out of the way. And I will, before I get into the code, I just wanted to show you like a couple of the editorial experiences on our current, some of the sites we manage currently. If you're not a WordPress person, this is like standard WordPress editor with really nothing. You get this, body field, WYSIWYG. You can do stuff. There's a lot of other customization here, but that sort of experience that a lot of us who've been doing this stuff for a while are used to. Another site we manage uses a plugin called Panels, which is a way to build sort of component-based pages. It's similar to the paragraphs module in Drupal, where you can have these sort of self-contained sections of a page. You can make them here in the editor. You can drag them up and down, reposition them, and save, and check out the front end and see what it looks like. So that is in contrast to the Gutenberg editor, which looks like this. I have a couple paragraphs here. I can move this one up. I can move this one down. I can add new blocks. I can add images. Gutenberg itself comes with a suite of sort of default blocks. So out of the box, you can use those things. But what I'm going to focus on here today in the code is how custom Gutenberg blocks are developed. So let's see here. Step one, I should have had this in order. So step one is having, in a best case scenario, Gutenberg blocks work best with what is now called a full site editing theme. So Gutenberg now, or WordPress also now has sort of a new theme paradigm. And from my experience so far, the best case scenario is you're working with a full site editing capable theme and using the Gutenberg functionality on top of that. I have my things on my environment set up like that. I'm not going to get into the full site to the theme side of things. I really wanted to focus on the block, the Gutenberg block stuff here. So Sorry, I'm orienting myself with my close up some of this stuff. So can you see my read this editor on my screen well enough? Okay. So what you see over here is I have my WP content folder. That's where themes and plugins live in WordPress. Gutenberg, custom Gutenberg blocks are plugins. So inside my plugins directory, I have a webcamp folder, which is my custom block that I've made for this folder. There is if you look up, I can provide links in the deck that I'll share later, but there is a create Gutenberg block script that you can run if you have yourself set up with a sort of modern development environment, including Node and all those things, package managers and things like that. So you can run this script and it will scaffold for you a basic Gutenberg block, a very, very basic Gutenberg block. I've gone beyond that, so I didn't want to bore us with their very basic example. So what you get is you get a package JSON file that includes some dev dependencies. One of those being WordPress scripts, which is an important package. It includes a lot of things you'll need to use to build Gutenberg blocks. It is also pre-set up with all of these build commands. It's a really great tool. They spent a lot of time like narrowing in on what packages, what dependencies are required for this kind of work, and they keep it updated. So as long as you've included that in, as far as, I mean, we haven't gotten to sort of a full release of what we're trying to do, but for at least getting your feet wet, I haven't had to do any custom Webpack configuration, any custom build configuration anywhere else. I've installed WP scripts using their off-the-shelf build scripts, and everything just works. Compiling CSS, Babel, everything just works. So it's great. And I'll leave it at that. You know, package lock is generated after you run the npm install. The next important file we'll say is webcamp PHP. All that's happening in this PHP file is I'm registering my block. I'm telling WordPress that I have this custom block and here's where to find the build files for that block. And then I'm enqueuing that. And that's really the only thing here that has to happen in terms of PHP, at least for, you know, the block that I've created for this demo. All right, next will be our source directory. So in our source directory, the entry point for both the builds, for any of the scripts in the package JSON file, the entry point is the block JSON file. It looks for that file in order to understand whatever's going on with your block. So this is where, you know, it's a JSON object that includes all of this sort of meta information about the block. Sorry, I don't let my dog in. And then we have an index.js file. So we're using ESNext, the most, as far as I know, most modern flavor of JavaScript. So if you're familiar with that syntax, this should, you know, look familiar to you. I'm not going to dive too deep into the syntax here, but we are importing both our edit and save functions here. We're importing a style sheet and an editor style sheet. I'll talk about those in a little bit. But if we look over here at the edit function, so our edit function is simply that it's the information, it's the file that's used for the editorial side of the Gutenberg block editor experience. I'll get into the details of that in a moment. Our save function is what's output to the front end. So from that, you know, those are both imported to index.js. When we run our npm run build on this directory, we come out with a build directory that includes the files. Again, this is what was registered in our PHP file. This is the directory that WordPress looks at to actually use the block on the site. So everything's compiled into there. Again, everything behind the scenes, CSS compilation, Babel, yada, 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 all that stuff. I have an assets folder here because I have a couple things I'm using in my design. So with that, I'm going to switch over to my WordPress site, and I can go here and I can add, I've called it webcamp. So right here at the top, webcamp, and I add my webcamp block. Oops. Hold on one sec. Go back a step. Okay, should be all set now. All right, so without, I've got all these, lots of things to show you, so I'm gonna try to speed up a little here. But off the bat, here's what my block looks like. I'm gonna put text here, text quote, hello. I've got a field for a name. I'll show you what that looks like on in the files. So if I update, I can look at the front end. And here's what my page looks like with, this is the information that I just entered into the block editor. So a couple things you might notice is, doesn't look exactly the same as it does on the front end. There's some spacing, padding around here. The name looks to be like gray or something on the front end. I don't know if you can tell that. But it's not exactly the same. If we look back in the files here in the editor, in the edit file, there's a few things going on. You could see rich text here. So up here, I'm importing, there's a package. Gutenberg works with a series of packages that makes it pretty easy for you to make your own custom Gutenberg blocks that behave and respond appropriately inside the editor. So I can use this block editor package, and I can import the use blocks function, the rich text component. And what you see down here is a rich text component. Here's one. So if we think of those in terms of a CMS like fields, I have one field for the quote, and I have one field for the name. Up here, you can see I'm destructuring the block attributes, and I have quote and person here. If we look over at block JSON, there's attributes in here. The attributes, the fields, the values, the types of information that your block's going to contain are all defined within the block JSON file. And then you utilize those again in your edit and save functions. So they have to be in block JSON in order to use them properly in WordPress. So I'm using those here for the editor to display the content as you're changing it live. You add some change handlers for the different values of those fields. So I'm capturing the value of the quote field. I'm capturing the value of the person field or attribute. And I am, I've added change handlers so that as I change that content, everything shows up live in the editor and it's saved out on the front end. The save function, I'm destructuring, I'm adding those, destructuring the attributes in my props again. And similar, but here you'll notice I'm using rich text.content. So on the save function, I'm outputting the content value of that. That makes sense. So oftentimes the save function is much shorter than the edit function. And sometimes you'll see this if you look around, for example, sometimes you'll see the edit and save functions all contained within the index.js file. Some people write them in big, long files with everything inside. I find it a little easier to break them up. So that's what we have there, and that's what we saw here. So it's okay. It's not exactly what we want to see, but it's something. So the next thing I'm going to do, oh my gosh, I just quit. Quit VS Code, I'm sorry. Next thing I'm going to do is add some styles to that quote. So what I haven't mentioned yet is the styles CSS. I have an empty style sheet. So styles CSS, as you can read up here, is loaded both on the front end and in the editor. We have a second style sheet in the directory that's editor.scss that, again, as you can read up here, is only applied in the editor. So you'll find that you'll need to shim a few things. You'll see in the end result that this file doesn't contain a whole lot. And I think the things that I have in here we can overcome in time. But if I pull my next branch here, find it. So I pulled down a new branch where I have some styles in here. I'm going to go to my front end. One thing when you're working with this, when you hit update, it doesn't refresh. It'll save the content, but it doesn't refresh the page. So when you're developing, it doesn't refresh the browser to get the new code. So you always have to delete. You kind of have to delete your old block, refresh the browser, and then come back and re-add it to see. Okay, so here you can see now it's the same block, but it's styled now. So I still have those same two fields, same two rich content fields, rich text fields. Rich text fields add this, bold, italic, and all those options up there. It's kind of the WYSIWYG analogous here. So I just put some text in there. I can word. I can bold my name like you might normally do with a quote of some kind. I kind of set this up as a testimonial. So that's back end, refresh the front end, and now my quote looks like that. So I think pretty good step forward. We have pretty much identical parity between the front and back end. So if I'm a content editor, I don't have to live in mystery about what my front end is going to look like as I'm building my page. I can see it as I'm doing it, which is pretty exciting. So what I'm going to add next to my block is, okay, I have the ability to add 2 bits of text, but maybe I want to be able to change the alignment of this text. So Gutenberg comes with a nice and sort of simple ways to add that functionality. If I go back to my edit function, we'll see now up here in my import of the block editor package, I've added a couple things. Before it was use block props and rich text, I've added block controls and alignment toolbar. So these are 2 things that are required to add a button to the rich text controls where bold and italic are. It adds a button for, left, center, and right aligned text. So I've added those as the package. I've added another handler to handle the change in text alignment. Here I'm using those components, the block controls, or the alignment toolbar is wrapped in block controls. I'm putting the alignment change function on there, capturing the value. And for this demo, what I'm doing is I'm just outputting that value into an inline style so that it's wrapping around the 2 text elements, and it will apply text align and the value. So if we go to the front end, again, I have to remove, update, refresh so that I can get my latest code here. But if I add webcamp again, I can hello webcamp. Typos, whatever. But you can see now up here, maybe you noticed or didn't, but now there's an alignment button here. This wasn't there before. So Now I can click that and center a line, and click that and right align. I can click update. I can refresh my front end page, and those values are saved, to the front end display. So pretty cool, pretty slick. It was pretty easy to add. In this case, one thing I neglected to mention, I added an additional attribute to my block JSON file for this to work. So I had to make sure I registered the quote alignment attribute as something that I'm passing down through this block. And I gave it a default value of left. So when you add it to the page, it will always be left aligned. Some things to point out here while I'm here, you just have to make sure you use the proper values for these things on the type of information that this attribute is, like string or Boolean or whatnot. What the source is, in these cases it's HTML, and it helps to give, especially on a lot of these attributes, it helps to give it a selector or an element to look for in order to properly in order for it to apply that to the appropriate element within the block, if that makes sense. Because oftentimes you end up with a block with several elements, and if you give it that selector, that's the best way to ensure that the value is being passed to the right place. Okay. So the next thing I wanted to add was, what if, so we have a block now that's styled pretty nicely. It has, again, the ability to add quote text and a person's name. Again, I made this a testimonial type or pull quote sort of scenario. But now I want to be able to add a person's image to this block. So I'm going to go back. I pull a new branch here. I'm going to go back here and explain some stuff in the edit function again. So up here in my from the block editor package, I've now also included media upload, the media upload component, which allows us to reference WordPress's built-in media library in order to be able to add these images. There's also a components package in WordPress, and one of the components in there is a button. So I'm importing that in order to have something to open the media library when I need to add the image. I'm adding a placeholder image so that when it loads on the page, there's something there for the image to display. And I've added another attribute here, photo. I've added that attribute to my block JSON file here. And another handler for the change in image. If I scroll down into my component, I have the media upload component is right here. And so we have some normal sort of JavaScript functionality. We have the on image select function happening here. We, give it the value, and then we have the button that will open the media library. We have some label text there. We tell it to show a tooltip. There's I think it's called dash icons, is an icon library that WordPress, like the WordPress core uses, and you can reference that throughout Gutenberg. You can add your own icons too, but you can always reference their dash icon library and use those for different UI element icons. So I'm using what's called the format image icon here. I'm giving it a class. So if I go back again to WordPress, since I've changed the code again, I'm going to delete that, update, refresh. Okay, so now when I add the block, there is not only our quote field, our name field, but now there's also the default image and this button that will open the media library. So I can add an image here. I can Add some text. I can bold my text. I can update, and I can save it on front end, and everything displays as I wanted it to. The image I selected from the media library is there. My quote text is there. And we have, again, parity. The important thing I think with Gutenberg is striving for this parity between, as I'm a content editor, I want to be able to build a page and again, not have to constantly flick between the rendered page and this. I want to be able to build my page, save it, and know that what I'm doing is going to be reflected on the front end. And so far, we have that. And the next functionality I wanted to add is some of the out of the box functionality, or some of the out of the box blocks include functionality to include a button to make the block full width, wide width, they call it. That's not quite full width, but it's wider than the default content column. And then by default, they always fall into your sort of content width that you've declared in your theme. So I want to be able to do that. If I quickly go in my editor here, and I think if I choose something like group, you'll see here's a button and I can choose wide width, full width. So I want to add that functionality to my custom block. So I'm going to remove this block. Remove this block. Update. I'm going to pull down a new branch where I added this support for this in. Okay. So where this comes in terms of my files, in my block files, is in block.json. I've added a new object here, supports. So we have supports align wide full. This is again native Gutenberg WordPress functionality, and I'm telling my block that I want my block to be able to use that native functionality of the editor. That's really all that's required. If I refresh this page, now that I've pulled new code, I can do all the same things, but now that button's up here right next to the text align button. And I can do this, do this, do that. And as you can see, my block responds appropriately to that. Quickly add some content here. Full width. Update, save, full width. What that does behind the scenes is, I don't know how well you can see my dev tools down here, but you can see on my wrapper element, there's an align full class. And there's also this is style default. I'll get to that in a moment. But the align full class comes from WordPress. And if we go back to our files, I haven't talked yet about use block props. And if you look at the code here down in the return, at the root level element of my block, I have spread use block props on the outermost element. Both in my edit, and if I go to save, I have in here where we have to make sure to include use block props. Use block props save. But I'm spreading that here again on the outermost container. And what happens is that allows these classes and this functionality to respond the way that WordPress does. So it allows WordPress to add those classes, those props to this blocks container. So you're always going to want to add the block props to the outermost container of whatever's inside your block, so that you can use this certain native functionality again of Gutenberg and WordPress and know that the classes that are set up to do that are going to work as expected. So while I have this, it doesn't look great because my text is all the way over here. My image is in the center. So in my style sheet, I have some commented styles. Said I wasn't going to get deep in the CSS, and I'm not going to really explain too much of the CSS, but I'll uncomment those bits and pieces. For this one, I'm going to have to run the build command to compile those new styles in. Take a moment. But if I go over here, now I've added some styles for each of the default, the wide, and the full width. So here we're looking at the front end. It might want me to. Okay, so what I can do here is in the editor, now I can switch between, here's what it looks like at wide, full, and at its native width. So you can see there's some layout adjustment, but all that's being done just purely with CSS. Taking those classes again that are passed down through use block props, simply align wide, align full, and I'm attaching styles to the fact that that class has been added or removed from my block. And if I update here, and it works. Same in the front end. Again, we're still maintaining parity front end. And the final bit of functionality I want to add to my block here, I'm going to make it just before the cutoff, is I'm going to add some style support. So what I want to do from a design perspective, from a content editing perspective, what I want to offer my content editors is not only the ability to go full and wide and align the text and add an image, I want them to be able to choose different background colors for this component. So before I do all this, go through that, change code around. And I'm going to a new branch. Okay. All right. So this is, again, this is some native functionality. I haven't really talked about this sort of left side or right side, sorry, of the editor over here in my block. You see there's really nothing there. There's an advanced option where you can just add a CSS class. There's nothing more there. What we're going to do is add some styles to this blocks to change the background color. So again, really the only change, the main change I have to make to my files in my block plugin are adding this array of styles to my block JSON file. And what you can see here, I have given each of them a label. This is what will show up in the WordPress editor, the name of each of them. And this will be appended, the name will be appended to a class that's added to the style when the style is selected. So I'll show you that here. Move that date, refresh. Okay, webcamp, show me the money. Okay, so here now on the right, you can see I have a styles accordion with the three options I declared in my block JSON file: Bay light, spirited light, illuminating dark. Those are colors that we use in our Stanford color palette. But you can see, at least in this preview, there's no difference between any of those. What we can see, if I find this in my editor, if you can see any of this, is style default. When I change it to spirited light, we get a new class that says is spirited light. So again, I can use those to make some changes in my files. But nothing's changing when I do that. The next thing that's required is just, again, some styles in my CSS file. I have them there. Just got to uncomment them. So you'll see here, I'm using those classes: is style bay light, is style spirited light, is style illuminating dark. And I'm using CSS custom properties. So if I have any time, I can cover that, but it looks like I'm running out of time. So let me just compile this real quick and show you what happens now. Date. And if I add that now that I've added those styles, you can see on the right, I get an accurate preview of all those background colors. If I change them, changes live in the editor. I'm going to add a little bit of better content to sort of wrap this up here. An actual quote. Attribute that to the dean of the new school. Hold his name. Add his image. Update. Look at the front end. It's again accurate. I can change my width. I can change my style. I can change my text alignment. I can update. I can refresh the front end. It looks the same as the back end. I can go full width. I can change, update, refresh. And there you go. So that's, I know we're like 2 minutes, 2 minutes to the wire here. I really appreciate all of you who have stuck around to the end here. And I hope that you got something, some understanding of how this works. Again, I'm somewhat of a newbie to WordPress, and I really think this stuff is pretty awesome. I've come a long way in learning about it in the last several weeks, thanks to Dave for giving me some time and space to do that, and JB also for shepherding me along. I'll give a shout out to Aaron Cole and Irina Zaks for just keeping the torch of the webcamp going, because this is a great thing. And I'm happy to answer questions or chit chat. I've got a lot more I could talk about. The future of this, I'll say, is that between JB, Dave, and I, our plan is to create a full Stanford branded full site editing theme and a custom blocks package that people who use WordPress around campus can install those things and do what you're seeing here, quickly and easily. So our current sites, again, aren't really utilizing the functionality as I've demonstrated it today, but that's our goal. And we're going to call that theme El Camino, as far as we know right now. I don't know if we'll come up with a name for the block package, but really these things, again, they work in concert together. So you'll have a theme and then a package of basic blocks to include in there. And we're trying to get people back in the WordPress community practice. So keep an eye out for that if it's something you're interested in learning more about or helping out with. It'd be great to have you. Does anyone have questions or comments or throw tomatoes at me for I think my live demo went pretty well, considering I've been in a lot of live demos where they go horribly wrong. So nothing went too wrong for me.
No, you did a great job.
Thank you. Whenever they get this content up on the webcamp site, I'll clean up my slide deck and put some links in there. So if you want to find any of the stuff, what I've found about WordPress and blocks is that this stuff is like moving so quickly, like a lot of other things, that it's really hard to find the right information about what the latest best way of doing things is. Things like I ran into an issue last night as I was trying to finalize this demo, and I'm Googling, and I find, oh, there's a GitHub issue in the Gutenberg repository from 10 days ago that is exactly what I was wondering about. So I swear every time I look for things, the content changes. So yeah. If you have questions, feel free to just come off mute and ask.
Yeah, Robert asked one in chat. Go ahead, you can open your mic and ask.
Sure.
Do you think?
Yeah. Do you think the future of WordPress and Gutenberg is going to involve direct site editing? So it seems like a lot of other page builders are doing that, where you don't actually go to a admin screen or an edit page. You just when you're logged in, you can just start editing directly. It seems like they're almost there. But have you seen any indication that that's actually the direction that they're gonna go in?
I haven't seen that yet. I'm about a month into really trying to wrap my brain around all this. So I haven't seen anything like that yet, but really the only things I think missing from the editorial side of this are the headers and footers, which we could talk about full site editing theme if I had another 30 minutes. That's where that stuff comes from. Might be able to shim it to display that stuff on the back end, even if you had enough time to do that. But I would think somewhere down the line I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Yeah, neither would I.
Shay?
Thanks for that, by the way. Great presentation, and yeah, good job on the live demo with that one. So I have a question around the intersection of headless approaches and Gutenberg. Yeah. And so how does that play? Does it play nice? Does it not play nice?
That's a great question. And the whole time I've been working on this stuff, I've been thinking about since I've done a couple work, I've been thinking about why is this like it is? If I'm using React here, it's kind of a weird thing. I'm using React inside WordPress. It's not using React in the front end, although you can do that. It's another demo for another day, more like a day-long thing. But what I do know is that the content, as much as you're componentizing the content here in the admin interface, it all gets saved into one table in the database. And WordPress can act as an API. So, in terms of structured content that you might want to hit from a static site, situation, you can pull that content out the same way WordPress is pulling it out, I think, if that makes sense. But how does the editorial experience match up with the static site generation if you're doing that? I don't know. I haven't.
Is it getting saved as markup, or is it getting saved as a big JSON blob?
I think it's getting saved as markup, but I have to look closer.
Yeah.
More I've got a lot of things
than anything, and just kind of wondering, because there's all sorts of different models and reasons why you put sites together and which stacks to use. So just wondering what your thoughts on that were. So it sounds like some more investigation is needed, but as markup, thanks.
It is
cool. Okay.
It is. There is a page. There's a series of pages on the WordPress docs site about the architecture of Gutenberg that really gets a lot deeper into sort of that kind of stuff that that's in my bookmarks, my reading list. But I'm curious about it as well, and I'm also curious about again, if I'm doing all this in WordPress and then I'm saving it out to a static site, how does that editorial experience match up? I don't know.
Yeah, there might be some correlation there, but yeah, it's definitely a sexy experience as far as that goes. Of course you want this. Of course you want this. Gutenberg, yeah, I want to drag and drop stuff and see it live and make changes and do it. Heck yeah. So yeah, that's why I was more asking, because like that would be a very attractive feature for static content publishing.
Yeah. So once I figure more of that out, I'll definitely report back to you all. Because it's a great question, and I think I do like the editor experience, and I think some of the things that I have yet to iron out are things that we can figure out how to improve, and use things like I think I've mentioned to you, Shay, but I'm sort of next step. I've at a surface level got Decanter version 7 worked into both my theme and a different block package that I didn't demonstrate here today. So that's encouraging. I can fold that all in, and again, back to the WP scripts package. The only thing I had to add to both the theme and the block package is specifically the Tailwind config files. I didn't have to add any other Webpack, like nothing else to deal with that. I just simply added the required files for Tailwind and Decanter. Added Decanter and Tailwind as dependencies, the package JSON, installed them, and it compiles, it works. There's no, so that was encouraging. And it's always nice when you can take that DevOps step out of the question. I don't know, cut to the chase. But not to say that I've said to JB and Dave, of course, as we get further down the line, inevitably we'll be adding complexity to the things we're doing, and I'm sure we'll get to a point where we have to customize that config to a bit, but I still don't think we're going to have to do a heavy amount of like custom config. It just seems to work, so that's good. Anyone else have questions? Silence. Okay. All right, well, I hope it made sense, and I hope you got something out of it, but I'm glad y'all stuck around to the bitter end. And if you're a Stanford person, keep your eyes on the WordPress community of practice. We're trying to revitalize that and bring some conversation not only around this, but other WordPress topics as well. So thanks again.
Thanks.